Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe, and thank you all for coming to Radha Krishna Dham this evening. I'll just briefly say that our organization, Radha Krishna Dham, is a non-profit Hindu religious organization. And we're part of a global network of mandirs and ashrams and centers that are all founded under the divine guidance of our Guru, Jagadguru Sri Kripalaji Maharaj, and under the parent organization, Jagadguru Kripalu Parashad. So tonight it's my privilege to be introducing a dear friend of our organization, Radha Krishna Dham, Sushri Gopeshwari Devi. We affectionately call Gopeshwari Devi DDG. She was born in Fiji to a very esteemed family who were known for their social service and spiritual learning. And later she moved to New Zealand. In 1980, more than 45 years ago, DDG went to India, where she met her Guru, His Divine Excellency Jagadguru Sri Kripalaji Maharaj, who we affectionately call as our beloved Sri Maharaji. She completed a bachelor's degree, a law degree, and a master's degree. And after doing all that, she was personally chosen and graced by Sri Maharaji to receive sannyas in India. And since that time, so many years ago, with the grace of Sri Maharaji, she's humbly served as one of the foremost preachers of Vedic Sanatan Dharma. Her audience is always amazed, and you will be too, to witness such a dynamic speaker with vast Vedic knowledge. It's like the divine energy and Vedic wisdom of Sri Maharaji is just pouring out of her. You'll see. For 40 years now, Sushri Gopeshwari Devi Ji has been tirelessly traveling around the world doing her prachar. She's inspired, motivated, and devotees while visiting the US, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, Asia, Canada, and Europe. She's been coming to both Northern and Southern California since 1984. And many of you in this room discovered your relationship with Sri Maharaji through Gopeshwari Devi.
1994.
Correct. I'll do better next time. In 2005 and 2007, she hosted Sri Maharaji in Northern California. I've personally known DDG since 1999. I've personally witnessed her tireless commitment to our Guru and her dedication to all the souls who desire to find Supreme God, Radha Krishna, in this lifetime. DDG, you are more than a friend to me and to this Radha Krishna Dham. And with that, I graciously introduce our friend, Gopeshwari Devi.
श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। बोले लाडली लाल की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Dearest devotees, most blessed souls, my humble pranams, obeisance to each one of you for being here. As we all know it in our own hearts in some way, that with the greatest grace and blessings of the Lord. We are endowed with this human form, and in this human life, it is only the most special, unique grace of God that brings us to a temple like this. And that is how you have come here today, and you are present here. Your presence is most important, and that is all what matters. Once again, my most humble pranam to each one of you. Let us all fold our hands in the prayer mode. Take a very good look at the divine form of the Lord placed on the altar. The most beautiful form of the Lord. Beauty even is put to shame. How can we ever glorify the beauty or the love of the divine beloved, who is the embodiment beauty, embodiment love? But with our material eyes, the beauty that we see in front of us of Sri Radha Krishna, adorned with all love and devotion by sincere devotees, and the beloved form of our beloved Gurudev, Jagat Guruttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. Take a good look at the divine form of God and Guru. Capture the form of the Lord in your hearts and minds, and close your eyes. Now feeling the divine presence of the Lord in your heart with the inner eyes of your minds, visualizing the divine form, drinking the divine nectar of the divine beauty of the beloved Lord. Let us all, first of all, pay our most humble obeisance at the divine lotus feet of our supreme divine beloved Lord. While I shall recite the verses, inhale the divine vibrations, feel the breath, and feel the divine presence of the Lord. And pay your humble obeisance. Manatha Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Kripalu Gurave Namah. Guru Raradhanadishcha Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Parataram Nasti Kripalu Gurave Anandamanandakara prasannam Prema swarupam Brajabhavayuktam Yogindra midyam bhavarogavaidyam Gurum kripalum Yo brahmanam vidadhati puravam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tagvam hadevam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanam prapatti. Anand Kanda Satchidanand Shri Krishna Chandra Charnaravind Makaranda Milinda Mahanubhav, the blessed souls, eternal and divine. Let us all chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord, the power of divine name. You must have heard of it, but you will feel the power of the divine name if only your presence with the divine in your heart, in your mind, is felt by you. It's only your presence, no pressure. not out of fear, not out of want or desire for anything from your beloved Lord. Just your love. Just your love. For love. Your love for love to the beloved. If you can keep this bhakti in your hearts and chant the glories of the divine name, you shall instantly start to feel the power of the divine name. Receive the divine grace of the divine beloved, whose glories you are chanting, whose name you are chanting. Bhajo giridhar govinda gopala. Bhajo giridhar govinda gopala. You already have devotion in your heart to some degree or the other. It's nothing new that I'm talking about. Bhakti or Bhakti Yoga is spontaneous, it's a natural longing, whether it's 1% longing, 10% longing, 50%, 80% in your heart, but that longing is already there. If that longing was not in your hearts, you wouldn't be seated in the prayer hall, in this mandir, in this temple. Because it is your longing that has brought you this far. And it is your longing, when it gets deepened, when it becomes desperate longing for the divine love, it will lead you home. No one else, nothing else. And this desperate longing is what sadhana, is what your meditation, your devotional practice is, nothing else. The Lord is not in the shrine. Your beloved Lord is not in the shrine. He's not in the chanting. He or she is in the beating of your heart, filled with your longing, your devotion, your love. And that is why Saint Kabir Das ji has said, मोको कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे, अरे मोको कहाँ ढूंढे बंदे, मैं तो तेरे पास में, ना मैं मंदिर, ना मैं मस्जिद, ना काबे कैलाश में, ना ही क्रिया कर्म में रहता, ना ही जप तप व्रत में, खोज ले तो पाए लयोगे पल भर के तलाश में. If you can sincerely search for me, having this clarity of mind and this presence of mind that I am in your heartbeat, in every breath of yours, you'll find me in no time. You are searching for me in the external things. So, your Lord, your Godhead personality, our Lord, is in every pore and fiber of our beings. But a mandir, a temple, is a place which I would term as a sanctuary, where we can sit, be in silence, and be dissolved in love for our beloved, without any distraction, anyone else's presence. The hall can be filled with hundreds and thousands of people, but it is you and your beloved. And through the deities of the Lord, you bring the Chetan Swarup, that is the very embodied beloved of yours. It's only to help you feel the divine form, the divine presence of Godhead personality. The divine Godhead personality, the personified form of the Lord. Through the deities, through the shrines, you capture that form, but the Lord within you is the one who is going to come out. Not in your thoughts, but in every breath of yours, you feel His presence. Thus, what is this devotion? It is that longing to feel that love of your beloved, to experience the touch of your beloved, to experience the divinity and the ecstatic bliss, the joy of your beloved. He is love. He also embodied as the Supreme Divine Mother, the very source of even the Supreme Sarva Shaktiman Divine Krishna, reveals herself as Kishariji, Sri Radha. So we see Sri Radha and Krishna form in front of us in the shrine. Sri Radharani is not the eternal consort of Sri Krishna, and she is certainly not the eternal lover of her divine beloved Sri Krishna. Sri Radharani is that supreme divine source and reservoir of bliss. When I say the word bliss, love, peace, happiness. She is the very soul, the very worshipped form of Supreme Sri Krishna. Thus, longing to experience the bliss of the divine, the surging emotion in our hearts, in our minds, for this divine love, spontaneous surging emotion, longing and love for the beloved is what Bhakti Yoga is. Bhakti has always had two faces. Number one, if sincere devotion is practiced, the sincere surrender, love, longing is in our hearts for the beloved, then of course it is going to ignite hope in our hearts and mind. It is going to melt the ego. Take care of it in no time. It will melt the ego that we already exist with. Manbuddhi Chit Ahankar, it's a part of us. But the sincere, true devotion, that's the ego. Ignites the hope in us. Builds that faith. However, on the other side, without proper tattva-jnana, knowledge, and without proper practice of devotion, the sincerity of the heart, if it's not there, then what happens is the very opposite. Devotional practice turns into a dogma. It then is filled with only external rituals. It has no emotion. It has no love. It's filled with ego. And the ego keeps on getting puffed and swollen because we keep on getting more in the wrong direction due to not always had these two faces. Thus, Jagat Guruttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhuji, the supreme Acharya of this time and age, and the fifth Jagat Guru Uttam, the supreme-most Jagat Guru of all the Jagat Gurus that we have had so far. Jagat Guru Sri Shankaracharya, 2,500 years back, 200 years after that, Jagat Guru Sri Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Sri Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Sri Madhvacharya, and Pancham Mool Jagat Guru, not hereditary succession, original. All these five Jagat Gurus. Fifth Jagat Guru is Jagat Guru Uttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. When Kashi Vidvat Parishad, the 500 eminent scholars of Kashi Vidvat Parishad, on 14th of January, exactly the day and the date when Radha Krishna Dham was inaugurated. This temple of ours was opened for us on 14th of January, but the year now is 2026. It was the year 1957 when Jagat Guru Uttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu was honored, and the title of Jagat Guru Uttam was conferred upon him by 500 eminent scholars. Then they gave this title Srimad Padvakya Pramana Paravari Veda Marga Pratishtha Panacharya Sanatana Vedic Dharam Pratishthapan Sat Sampradaya Paramacharya Nikhila Darshan Samanavayacharya Bhakti Yoga and Rasa Avatar. The very embodiment of Bhakti Yoga. Ras. I'm not saying this. No one ever said this. 500 eminent scholars of Kashi Vidvat Parishad revealed this to the whole world. That now Bhakti personified, Ras personified, has come to you, oh dear children of God. Thus, Jagat Guru Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu, through his entire life, taught us that Bhakti Yoga alone, this practice of divine love devotion, Bhakti Yoga in English, divine love devotion, alone can purify our hearts and minds, cleanse our hearts and minds, attract the grace of the Supreme Lord, and with that grace of the Lord, on the purification of our hearts and minds, this Bhakti Yoga practice will liberate us from the vicious tentacles of Maya, of the material illusion, the illusion that you and I we dwell in, the confusion that we dwell in. The clarity is not there. Bhakti is associated always with clarity, truth, honesty, sincerity, and the clarity of the mind. So due to this mic attachment, and due to this my material, Maya bondage, we are clouded with doubts. But the grace of God will liberate us, will free us from this bondage of Maya, and will lead us to our divine beloved. There are other yoga practices like karma yoga, jnana yoga, kriya yoga, etc. But the major three, karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga. Out of all these practices, any other practice, it is only bhakti yoga, which is the most powerful, because of this Shakti, this love, the power love that brings even God's godliness under it. Premadhina, Premadhina, Brahma Sham, Vedane Bataya, Yate Yae Naam, Prem Mandir Dharaya. Jagat Guru Shri Kripalaji Mahaprabhu, and teaching about bhakti, revealing about bhakti, making us practice this bhakti yoga, finally gave us Bhakti Mandir, the temple of devotion. And then, ultimately, he gave us Prem Mandir, the temple of love, both complementing one another. And that's when Sri Maharaji wrote this couplet, that the Supreme Lord is under the power of love, under the power of pure love, not what you and I know love to be. It's not love. Ours is the sensual. Remember, this love that we call is not pure love. It is alloyed with our sensual pleasures, with our senses. It's known as lust in its true sense. Kamana. Kamana is not prem, and prem is not kamana. Love is pure, love is divine, love is God. God is love. Love cannot be found from God. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be asked for. You ask for God, from God you get love. God is love. Thus, but it is still the Supreme Godhead Personality Shri Krishna's supreme power love, which embodied as Kishoriji, as Radharani is there. And Shri Krishna, the Supreme Godhead Personality, is always under the power of his own love Shakti. And Premadhina, Brahmasham, Vedane Bataya, Yate Yae Naam, Prema Mandir. And that is why I've named this temple as Prem Mandir, the temple of love. Thus, love is the supreme power, and that is the only one power that will cleanse our hearts, liberate us from the tentacles of Maya, free us from Maya, from the illusion, from all the illusion, the material illusion, and the cosmic creative power Maya, and attract the grace of God and lead us to our Supreme Divine Beloved Lord. So bhakti is that surging emotion of love and of relationship with the Supreme Divine Beloved. The relationship of the lover, I the soul, and my beloved. Bhakti includes a relational emotion and feeling. It's not God. It's not the distant God that a bhakt worships or prays to. Not a distant God. It is the very intimate very close, very personal relational feeling with God. Bhakti is very personal. It is extremely personal. It does not require any approval. Your devotional practice does not require any approval from God or from the sages and saints, Guru, and from anyone, because it is your personal, intimate, relational feeling with your beloved. And it is us, with our devotional practice, dissolving ourselves, our hearts, in our beloved. And yoga is the union of our hearts and our minds with our beloved Lord. Union. Union of our heart, our mind with our beloved. This is Bhakti Yoga. Now the question, how do we practice this Bhakti? In very simple terms, just understand it in a very brief manner. How to practice this Bhakti. Yadohane vahanane mathano pale papreke kanarvi ruditokshanamarjanado gayanti chainamanurakta diyo shukantyo dhanya brajastriya urukramachittayana. 10th canto, 44th chapter, 15th verse of Bhagavatam Mahapuran. Exactly in the manner the maidens of Braj, the greatest of the unconditional, exclusive lovers of Lord, loved the Lord. This bhakti has these two very important qualities that must be included in our practice. This devotion, this divine love devotion has to be unconditional love. If the love is not unconditional, if it starts to have conditions, and that conditions of the material nature, then it can't be devotion to God. It will be devotion to what you desire for of the material nature, of the worldly nature. There is also devotion to God which may not be purely unconditional, which may have some selfish desires, but of the divine nature, like kubja head, hunched back, crooked lady, Kubri. She had this intense desire to be united with Sri Krishna, to have Sri Krishna, because she fell for Sri Krishna's beauty. There was a reason why she fell for Sri Krishna. It was the beauty of Sri Krishna, because Kubri, this crooked, hunchback lady, was a beautician. So when she was beautifying Sri Krishna for the very first time, she used to beautify Kans. Just imagine Kans and Sri Krishna. So when she first time started to beautify Sri Krishna, because on the way to Kansa's palace, that's where Sri Krishna comes, right there, omnipresent, omnipotent, omnibenevolent Lord, now knew the time has come to grace this crooked kubja lady, because she's crooked externally, but her heart is no longer crooked. Her heart is filled with true, sincere love for the Lord. The Lord graces Kubja by just appearing in front of her and says, "Where are you heading, my dear lady?" So she goes to Kansa's palace. Oh, Krishna was on the way to Kansa's palace himself. So he says, what do you do there? She goes, well, I'm the beautician and I beautify him. Shri Krishna said, would you do that for me? And she gladly says, yes, because the attraction, because the divinity, because the embodiment love, it could be found by Kubja in a very strong manner. She was so attracted. She says, of course, and she jumped to it. And she started beautifying Shri Krishna. Who can beautify beauty? This is just an opportunity. We can't do seva to God. God does the seva. We can't do seva to Guru. Guru does seva. We simply render our duties. We do our kartabhya, our karma, our duties, not seva. Thus, as she is beautifying Shri Krishna, she is just dissolving, like you put the Panadol, I don't know whether you know that, Disprin, into water and it dissolves, it becomes what? So she just dissolved in Shri Krishna. She was gone, she had become one. See, bhakti, that's what it does. It melts that ego and brings that total oneness. That's the only thing which is left there. So she totally was lost, immersed, becoming one with Shri Krishna. So she stood there, and from there she went back to her place, and that was the one meeting with Shri Krishna, and that was enough for her God realization. She attained a beloved. No longer she went back to the palace of Kansa. So, but she had this desire. What was the desire in her heart? To always see this beauty. If Sri Krishna would have come like Shaligram, this Shaligram is very beautifully decorated. It doesn't look like just a mere black stone. We've got that there. It's very beautiful. He looks very handsome there. But suppose it was not decorated like that, and it would look only like this. If suppose Sri Krishna would have come in that form in front of Kubja, then she would have rejected. Because she's attracted with some reason. So this is known as conditional love for God. She has nothing about the material worldly desires in her heart whatsoever. No. But it is a selfish, divine love devotion. However, the unconditional lovers are the gopis. Even if Sri Krishna appears as Saligram or as that pig, remember his descension, Shukra avatar, or as Kukra avatar, as whatever. It would never matter to these unconditional lovers, because their love is not based on any reason. There is no reason. So, the most elevated, the most pure, the highest love is the love of these Braj Gopis, 10th canto, 44th chapter, 15th verse of Bhagavatam Mahapuran, where they're unconditional lovers. This love will take us right to Maharas, the supreme love of God. When we've got the chance, go for that. Don't get stuck in the bottom, on the C class. There's a C class ticket, there's a B class ticket, and there's an A class ticket. And the A class ticket is coming free, just as C class is. So let us not be deluded fools and get stuck there on the C class. And let's not go for B, let's go for the highest, the A class, which is known as pure, unconditional love of Samartha. The relationship there between the lover and the beloved. He is my intimate friend and companion, no doubt, but he is my soul beloved, and my beloved, and my refuge. But I love you for love's sake. And this love never alters when alteration finds, as Shakespeare's love sonnet says. Love is not love that alters when alteration finds, or bands with the remover to remove it. It is an ever fixed mark, sees on tempests and is never shaken. This is the kind of love that brings, this is the kind of devotion that brings a temple of love like Radha Krishna Dham. This is the kind of faith. It never alters when alteration finds it. You know, challenges will never cease in life. If challenges cease to be, then there is no life. Even when we were spiritually awakened, there will be challenges, but of different kinds. But the only thing that matters is when we awaken, get awakened spiritually, when we have this devotion and this love in our hearts, and of a very pure, unconditional nature, if you have it, oh, it's much more easy. If it's a conditional love, then it's a little difficult, tight situation. But unconditional love, what happens is the way you respond to these challenges makes a whole lot of a difference. Without devotion, the way you will respond to the challenges will be completely different to when you have this devotion in your heart. So devotion will make us so very steady. And also it will melt our ego, so it will make us very humble. And the way we will then respond or counteract with the challenges will be absolutely different. And this is all what matters. Thus, devotional practice. What these gopis did, when they did every action of theirs, whether it was sweeping the floor, cleaning the floor, like here in the temple when you are cleaning the floor. It's not I, it's not me doing it. With your devotional heart, it will be my Lord. My Lord resides here. Who knows? Today he chooses, or she chooses, to come down and have around. You know, you may be laughing. One day in Bhakti Bhavan, that is in India, where my guru's ashram is, I was sitting there, and the carpet on which Sri Maharajji would walk to go to his Singhasan was a bit crooked. And it was also dirty with some things lying on it. So I quickly thought, Sri Maharajji usually nowadays those days used to just go into his cart and close to his Singhasan and sit on the Singhasan. But I thought, just in case, suppose he gets off his cart a little bit further away from his Singhasan, from his bed, and if he steps on it, something there lying there may prick his divine lotus feet. So I just got up and I quickly swept the area. And that day for sure, Sri Maharajji got off the cart right by the door side and walked on that carpet. So don't think it's me. It's your love. It's your devotion. And God watches it. He's with you. Remember I told you, seated in us. Thus, the gopis in every breath lived their lives like this. There was so much total oneness because of this divine love, devotion in their hearts. So they would sweep the floors, they would smear the cow dung and to the floors, and where they would cook. They would attend to their crying babies. They were married, most of them. And they would even do stringing. Yes, they will do stringing. They'll sit on string and they'll sing. And they'll be sprinkling the fields. Oh, big, big fields. There was no irrigation system those days. They do all this. Thrashing the paddy to get the rice grain out. Whatever they were doing. Dear in remembrance of the beloved, gushing down the cheeks. Their heart, their mind was not in you, in you, in you, but in the beloved, for whom they were doing all this as their seva for their beloved. Seva. They were doing seva. Because their mind is totally one with the beloved. And the beloved Lord was accepting it, every seva of theirs. So this is the way to practice Bhakti Yoga, where you perform your duties, your karma. The karma part was while they are threshing the paddy, while they are sweeping the floor, cleaning the floor, while they are tending to the crying babies, while they are sprinkling the water in the fields, doing all this, this is their karma. And with this, the bhakti aspect was where the mind and the heart is totally dissolved in the beloved, in the beloved. They don't see anything, they don't hear anything, they don't smell anything. It's only beloved. It's only the beloved. And the tears are gushing down continuously, constantly. What have I done? How much have I done? They have no notion about it. Who's present? Who's not present? They have no notion about it. It's only the beloved. This is Karma. Karma Yoga plus Bhakti Yoga. And this is what Jagadguru Swami Sri Kripal Mahaprabhu tried throughout his life to bring to us, to awaken the dormant seed of divine love in us through this Bhakti Yoga practice. It's not the instruction he gives. It is simply sprouting the divine love seed in us. Mirabai, she broke the rule of the court. She broke the rule of the court, of the kingdom where she was married to. Not to rebel. Oh no. A devotee does not have any of these feelings. It was not to rebel. But because the rules no longer fitted inside her, it couldn't. So it had to be just broken. What the court asked Mirabai to do did not fit inside her. So it was not never a rebel. Likewise, Kabir Das Ji, without performance of any rituals, full of only divine love, devotion for his beloved, he goes out onto the streets, free of every ritualistic practices, and chants the glories of his beloved Lord's name. Kabira khara bazar mein, sabke mange khair, na kahu so dostati, na kahu so bad, no friend, no enemy. Thus, the way to practice your love, your devotion for your beloved is very personal, it's yours. How you do it, it's absolutely your personal choice. But as long as we check ourselves, read in ourselves that whatever I am doing, is it taking away my peace? If it is, it's not bhakti, it's not devotion. Is it taking away my clarity? If it is, it's not devotion. Because devotion can never rip you off your surrender, of your clarity and your peace. If anything, bhakti and practice of bhakti, devotion, simply grows and grows. It doesn't shrink. It just becomes universally grown. Gunaraitam, kamanaraitam, pratikshan vardhamanam. This is all about bhakti tonight. On Sunday morning from 10 to 12, there will be another program, which is our normal Sunday program that has always been going on in the other ashram. And this would be our first Sunday program in this temple, and we will have it. And I will come back to you all and speak more on the personal level of devotion. Today it was more on the introductory level. So we shall end tonight here. And once again, I will not speak too much tonight. So let us all get ready to go for our Lori celebration out there. Bole Shriman Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Bole Ladli Lal ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So one thing that you will go out from this hall with today, devotion is not to impress anything. Devotion is not out of fear. Devotion is simply your love, your faith. And as I told you, that this is the evidence in itself, where Peter and Katie, they were so steadfast in their devotion and in their bhakti practice to follow the instruction, Agya Samna Susahib Seva, instruction of the Guru, that one day, when all the India ashram projects would be over, the temple will be here. And today is the day that this temple is erected, not because it was Peter and Katie's wish or desire, not because it was my or your desire, but because this is the grace of beloved Gurudev. And I will humbly ask you all to come to this temple again and again and again and seek for that love of your beloved seated here at the lotus feet of Hari Guru. Radhe, Radhe.
Can we get one more round of applause for DDG?